Hello and welcome to another edition of CNG 125-500. This week we are diving into week 4. All right, week 4, wireless networking. Um, Wireless networking, man, that has really grown um, into into I wouldn't say equal, but definitely a contender with wired networking, um, because the speeds have gone from mega megabits, kilobits into I'm looking at wireless protocols right on the other screen. Wireless um, until almost I think even some wireless networks can do gigabit transmissions now. Um, Wireless protocol speeds. There we go. So here we have we started at A way back when 54 megabits. Notice that's up to it's not no, that wasn't the actual speed all the time. B, yeah, 11 megabits. Um, and this was definitely an issue. Um, I guess I'm going to say back in the day, um, where wireless speeds were this low, but then you also had to take into account, who was using wireless. And it used to be just laptops. Um, as we roll into um, man, when I was still consulting, or I should say when I started consulting, um, 2012, I was building networks to accommodate at least three um, IoT devices, basically wireless devices that each person would have, and build a network around that. I did like a college dorm, and now that has grown to where let me try to do another Google search. I'll leave this up. Take it over here. How per person. So I just did a quick Google search. How many wireless devices per person? Um, by 2020, I mean, that's today. That's now 6.58 network devices per person. IoT devices were to pass the human population this year. I know this just because I've done a lot of papers on this, written papers on this. Um, but now you're planning to build networks and say, okay, this wireless network can hold 18 wireless devices. That's three people. You're thinking about three people connected to that at a time, or yeah, having three people connected to that at a time, and is um, 11 megabits going to be sufficient for that? Way Once again, way back when I went into this business and they're having wireless issues, and they didn't know anything about their network, so I had to do like a lot of network discovery. And once again, go back to like week 2 when we're starting to draw maps, network maps and diagrams. Basically, I was taking inventory of everything I found on their network, and then actually from Nmaps just sitting on one computer, and then actually getting up and saying, okay, let me go trace this wire here. Let me go downstairs and run through their crawl space. I was basically mapping this entire network, and then when I came across their wireless access point, I found that their wireless router was a B series, and they had like the whole office connected to that wireless device, and they're wondering why their transmissions were so slow. You take 20 people by 11 megabits. Well, that was up to. As if that machine was perfect. But you divide that, and that was fractions of speeds with that. Um, a close look at Wi-Fi, but realize that wireless is definitely taking a change. Wireless can include near-field communication, um, Li-Fi, and what was that? There's another one that's used on trains. Um, Brofi, Wibro, I forget the name of it. It's something wireless broadband. I think it's Wibro. But that's also in the wireless transmissions. For this discussion this week, I'd like you guys to design, and this is kind of going to roll. It's going to start feeding you guys into the projects that are going to come in later this semester and the scenarios that are going to play out. This week, choose a host amount, and we kind of saw that it can be up to 6.58 devices per person. Find an access point that's suitable for your scenario. I want you to come up with your own scenario. Please don't copy other people. If someone does 4 people and you want to do 4 people also, do 5 people. So obviously the first people are going to get probably priority here. But think of like campus. Think of the school. Think of anywhere where you do like Starbucks, you take it into those scenarios like, hey, you know what? If I was designing a network for Starbucks, a wireless network, I would want to design it for, take into account that maybe 20 people there are there at a given time. How many people are going to be on the wireless? What kind of device is going to suit these wireless needs? Are you going to build a device on 802.11b? Are you going to go 802.11n? So still widely used 802.11ac. That's our current one that most of our phones work with. Or are you going to start to plan for the future and be like, you know what, I'm going to go 11 AD, or our shop's going to prepare for the future and go Li-Fi with an N router or an N Wi-Fi system too. But make sure you take into account some device growth. Like I said, I was planning networks for 3 devices per person, but now that has definitely changed. And not all 8 access points are built the same. So what you have to do is just open up a Google search and say, GW. CDW. So I'm looking at, I forgot that was. But there are a lot of vendors out there. CDWG. Okay, here we go. CDW, CDWG. I just had the letters mixed around. These are one of the people I worked with when I had to order enterprise type equipment. They also had equipment there for, and this is just CDW. This is the G site, the government site. You can do just CDW too, and that'd be their just regular site. But a whole bunch of appliances. You can definitely poke around and see access points. I know they just don't have 2. But definitely poke around on this site and see. There we go. There's a lot more. Pick one. We see this one goes out A, B, G, N, A, C. You don't have to have one that covers all of them. What if you just choose N and AC? Feel free to open up the internet and search. There's Brocades, Ruckus. There's a lot of access points out there. Meraki that are designed to provide mesh systems, be used for. You can go say, look, I want to build my network with Netgear. Perfectly fine. But how many access points will you have to have for Netgear's Home Solutions? Really another take on it. Netgear's Home Solutions to meet your demand for wireless. So have fun with this one. It should be a really cool discussion piece for this week, and I will let you guys take off.